Hey everyone, welcome to the Dunce Duffer podcast.
Viewer discretion is advised.
Some content may be offensive.
So if you are easily offended, please do not continue.
Duffer. I got my buddy here, the co-hostess, Dunce / Lightning Wolf. We're going to go a little different than the last podcast. It's not going to be as funny. We're going to try and make it as funny as possible, but it's going to be more of a creepy events this time. Yeah, that's pretty much all I got right now. So, Dunce, what you got, bud?
So we're mostly focusing on not necessarily scary, real events that actually happen, but more like creepy stuff that's more around ghosts and all that shit. Just things that make your skin crawl in the moment. So.
I know something that crawls deep down in my pants. Some more skin.
You might want to get that checked out, man.
Yeah. No, well, none of it's we don't know if it's real. I mean, it's just stuff that's happened to us. So it could have just been a logical thing that,
right.
But
could just be our brain playing tricks on us.
But in general speaking, it was creepy. So, like, that's basically the gist of it. It was creepy to us, so that's why we're telling the creepy event.
Before we get into it, any, this random talk you want to bring to the table?
I actually did want to cover something though. Why is it that old people? Okay, when I say old, I mean like clear wrinkles on the face. Old, like they're old.
You could just say people who are like 70 up.
Senile. Excuse me. Well, why do they like consistently just get in the way? Like, I know they probably don't mean to, but they do. And then they look at you, recognizing they're in the way, and they're like, "Oh, am I in your way?" And then you're like, "Just a little bit." And they're like, "Well, I'm in your way, aren't I?" And then they continue to not move out of your way. They just stand there like, "Oh."
Yeah, at work today, there was these two fucking older women talking to this older guy who had his little, like, fucking piss dog with him. It was just this ugly ass fucking dog. And they're just standing in the middle of the fucking aisle, like, "Oh my god, did you breed him? What type of breed is that? Oh my god!" And everybody around them's just like casually waiting for them to move the fuck out of the way.
Yep.
They were there for 20 minutes.
God,
talking about the fucking dog.
That dumb shit, dude. I was walking along like the main aisle, and because it was after we got back from our lunch, our lunch, I believe.
Yep.
No, it was back from our 15. So I'm walking back, and there's this old chick. I'm not even paying attention to her. I'm trying to get back to work, and all I hear her, she's just dead staring at me. She's like, "Milk, milk, milk," and I'm just walking past, and she's like, "Milk," and I'm like, "Huh?" And she's like, "Milk." I'm like, "What about it?" And she's like, "Milk." I was like, "Yes, milk is good.
It comes from a cow."
She's like, "Where is it?" And I was like, "The milk?" She's like, "Yeah." And she's like real short. So I literally was like, it's literally just right over there against the wall.
Where we have a huge ass fucking sign that says dairy. Get
this. 2 days ago she was here and she got milk all by herself.
Oh my god.
I did a carry out for her. And guess what I had to help her with?
Milk.
3 jugs of milk. How the fuck did she run out of milk in 2 days?
Yeah, no idea.
Like just why?
I give them to all my cats.
Like, if she was to go, "Excuse me, hey, do you know?" Like, sure, I'd stop. But she's like, milk. Milk. I don't know what that fucking means. I'm just walking, and you're just saying a word. Shit. Toilets. Where? Shit.
You gave more information just out of that random one than she did. I mean, I've definitely had that fucking happen to me before. Like, people will walk up and they'll be like, eggs, as we're standing next to the milk. Which is literally right next to it. I'm not kidding. It is like 5 feet away from it.
Not even 5 feet. It's like 4.
From the blue milk
Yeah.
to the eggs. 5 fucking feet.
Yeah.
Oh, I could have found this on my own. I was like, okay, well, why fucking didn't you?
Yeah, you fuck. Jesus Christ, dude. Like, just say, hey, excuse me. Can I, like something along the lines of that. Don't just, like, see them walking miles and miles away from you, and then you just say the word multiple times and they keep getting closer to you, but they don't give a fuck, so they keep walking past you. You know, that's like saying, bread, 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 bread,
Standing next to the bread aisle.
Bread. Where's the bread at? Why'd you walk away from me? Can't believe you're not gay. You know?
The amount of times I have to fucking help customers look for an item, and the thing is we have giant ass signs that say what's down that aisle: spices, liquor, whatever the fuck, bread, cereal, whatever. Did you guys move everything every day? You guys constantly move it. There was milk here one day, and there's no milk the next day. And it's like, we have fucking signs that say what is where. Like, if it's a new a new item, or you just simply don't understand where or what part of the store an item would be at, that's understandable.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you don't know where the shampoo is at in the store, that's understandable. But if you are standing at the fucking grocery aisles where all the shit is at and can look at the big ass sign that are made for the old people to read, there's no reason that you should walk up to me an aisle away from the bread aisle and ask me where the fucking bread is.
Domestically.
Anyway.
Now, I have a little complaint about y'all fuckers listening here. Where's the fucking comments? And the likes? And the subscriptions?
And the subscriptions.
I'm a little disappointed.
Are you now?
No, actually, I don't give a fuck. I mean, live your own fucking life. I don't give a listen to us, that's fine. But
no subscriptions?
why is Steven Seagal just on your thing? Literally, we got like 43 views. That's fucking amazing on the first one, and then 10 views on the second one.
You're real good at math, bud.
Listen here. I barely passed high school. That's because of you. Right? That I passed, not because I barely passed. Same thing. You get where I'm going.
Anyway.
Anywho.
Let's get into the actual creepy stories.
Yes.
Do you want to go first, or should I go first?
You can. That's fine.
You go first.
So, basically, the layout of my old house. So, if you listen to the previous podcast, you kind of have a description of what the upstairs is like. About how it's like basically fucking an attic, and there's nothing up there but boards, So, there's a door along the wall that leads into, the actual like attic where the attic is supposed to be. And so basically there's not any floor up there. It's just studs, obviously. But episode. What?
I didn't say it out loud because you keep calling it previous podcast, previous episode.
But it's a podcast.
The podcast is the entire thing, but an episode is in the podcast, the previous. Because that would mean that we did a different podcast.
Oh.
Like, Jack, and Mark, and Bob, they did a previous podcast. And they're like, well, in the last podcast, talking about the podcast episode.
Gone. So anyway, two. So basically, the attic. Okay, nothing but studs up there. No floor. I mean, obviously, there's like fucking shitloads of garbage up there. Well, not garbage. Antiquities. Oh, trash is another man's treasure. Mine. You know, that kind of fucking
a broke chair, boarded windows, a dresser that's fucked.
A 75-inch TV box that we don't need for some fucking reason is still up there.
It's not even like an actual TV. It is the old ass box TV that barely works.
No, there's a 75-inch TV box.
Oh,
the box it came with, and you know, it's up there. It's like the actual. I don't know. It's empty. There's nothing in there. You know, that's just taking up room.
I keep it in case I need to burn cardboard.
Maybe, I wish. Maybe my dad's like, so you got to sell the box. People are into that. No, they're fucking not. The only way I'm selling a box is if it was made by some fucking genius or some shit, I don't know. But, anyway, so, this event I'm referring to happened just, like, technically last year during the summer thereabout. But so I lived by myself there, so it was just me, nobody at all, right? Just me again. So I was basically just laying there on the couch because my room was the living room. So because I didn't go upstairs because I spent my entire childhood up there, and now that I had the house to myself, I was gonna, basically not be up there. And so, basically, I was laying there just watching the show, and the volume wasn't too high, but it usually is. And I swear to God, I heard, like, just footsteps from the attic, like, upstairs, And so I instantly was, like, confused and dazed. I'm like, what the fuck is that, So I just listened closely. Like, I'm leaned up at this point. I'm like, going on? I'm just hearing these steps.
Because not only was your house, whenever it got dark, it was pitch black because most of the lights didn't work.
Plus, I had like full quilts and blankets covering the windows because of my grandma.
But you're also alone in a house that you know for a fact no one else could get into.
Yeah. But so I at this point, because I kept hearing basically like over and over. Not like sex noises, but like you can clearly tell it was like a pacing.
All motion. You hear upstairs is, "Don't come up here.
We're busy." That'd be fucked. I don't even know what
We're trying your kid's bed out for a size.
Oh, this is how you were made, son.
Yeah.
Why is mom pegging you? This is how you were made.
That's disturbing.
Yeah. So, anywho, like you can clearly tell that it was like pacing going on upstairs, like somebody was basically either just walking back and forth or just doing fucking circles. So I paused the fucking show, my TV show, and like I obviously can hear it clear now, and it was like, I swear, it was literally like a mammoth was walking upstairs. And so at this point in time, I didn't have my gun at the house because it was up at the other house. All I had on me was my katana at the time and my knife and a flashlight, which I took both of those. I basically strapped on my Bowie knife to my hip, and then I was basically getting prepared for war at this point. I'm like, ripping off my belt, and I'm like, trying to be quick about it and quiet,
You're trying to not let the mammoth upstairs know that you're getting ready for it.
Right, and I know it's a mental game if it was a ghost, because it can sense your fear, so I'm just like, ooh, sex, Pornhub, yes, ooh, like, just
you're like, I am still on my phone, don't think about me coming up there to you.
I'm not here, ooh, And so I like, basically there was no mud around, so I couldn't like make a war paint, so I basically went to the toilet that we don't flush and just got I just rubbed shit all over my cheeks, like Afghanistan, But not actually. I mean, I took a bite, but
you ate before headed out.
It's like, all right, dude. Oh, that's another story we could do about that man's sandwich.
Oh, that's gross.
That's fucking funny.
Fucking gross.
No, about how I made a sandwich before going somewhere.
Yeah.
It's not gross. It's funny to me. Yeah. Anyway, another story for another time. So, basically, I basically pull out the katana. God damn it. For anybody who's confused, he basically made a mimicking face of him eating a sandwich, like duck lips, and you can hear the.
They probably couldn't, but now they can.
Yeah, that's basically what it was. Anywho, so I pull out the katana and I pull out the flashlight, and typically, like, if you have a gun, you'll like hold it out and then have your light underneath your other arm, kind of maneuver.
Right. The police style.
I was doing that with the katana for some reason. I basically had the sword pointed out and I had a flashlight.
Your arm's fully extended, so you can't draw, like, you can draw back and go back.
Pretty much. It was like a swordfish look, basically. I'm like, I'm gonna get you. Acting like I'm a damn narwhal. And so, the stairs are very steep, by the way, up to the upstairs and then etc.
Like, you basically have to get on all fours just to go up the stairs.
Pretty much, yeah. And so, anyhow, I was slowly going up there, and like the noises were still going on. And the moment I like hit the last step, like on the top, it instantly just stopped. Like it just stopped. And so the door to the attic has no hinges. It's like you have to lift it and then slide it onto the frame.
Yeah.
And there's a nail on the top that like you bend down and it'll hold it. It's just a little jerry rig.
Yeah.
So I go up there and I'm all like stealth moving and shit like a ninja, and I kick the bottom of it to fold it in, and I'm like, who the fuck's in my fucking attic? And obviously there's nothing.
Right.
And I like shine the light, and I'm like, I know you're fucking in here. You better get your asses out, or if you want to die, huh? What's going on, huh? Obviously,
already
nothing.
Already dead.
Basically nothing. I'm like,
if there was a ghost, they're just staring at you like, this is the fucking stupid ass we haunt.
Like, God, man, what? Just take us back to hell or something. Like, this is torture as it is, But I was like waiting for a response. I'm like, yeah, what I thought. And like I back out. And I'm like, huh.
You walked down the stairs backwards.
No, pretty much. I just like except like because I'm in the attic frame,
right?
And I'm like, well, I guess there's nobody in here. I did that on purpose because I was slowly backing up and I turned the light off. Keep in mind, I didn't turn the actual lights on, so it was dark. And I just sat there and I was like, just watching the door. And if I heard a noise again, I was going to shine the light. And nothing happened.
Right.
So I was just sitting there in the dark, just staring at blackness. And I'm like,
you're trying to scare the scary thing.
Yeah, I'm just like, no, I'm here, but I really am. They think I'm gone. And then I was like,
I'm just
they could hear me stepping up. I should make a noise and make it sound like I'm stepping down. So I shined the light and I was like, ha! I bet you thought I was gone. No, I'm actually leaving now.
You just make fake noises.
So I stepped down, I'm like, oh, I hate these. And then I like turned I had the light off and I'm just sitting there like, I bet they can't see me.
The thing is, if there was anything up there, like scary wise or not, you like after you did all of that shit, even if it did like run at you, you wouldn't have been prepared because you would have just been staying there with a light. You would have not been prepared at it for all. Like, dude. If anything, you would have just fallen down the stairs.
Like, oh shit. But yeah, no, like I was basically just sitting there in just silence, just looking at nothing. I'm just like, and then like the realism started kicking in. I'm like, this is kind of fucking stupid. What am I doing right now? Because keep in mind, I'm just like wearing my jean shorts.
Yeah.
Because I was in my underwear originally.
Right.
And I'm just laying there like, it's fucking cold up here, And so I was like, maybe it was like a raccoon or something up there, or a possum. I don't know what the fuck's going on. I mean, it could have just been the house settling. Even though it's been there for 100 years, it should have settled by now. And so.
Well, your house a woman. She needs to rearrange her a little bit.
And so I go and I'm at this point I'm kind of like slowly like crawling my way over the staircase, and I'm just like, you know. And then I flash the light, I was like, I got you, and then obviously nothing.
You're just staring there in the dark.
I'm just like,
man,
damn.
I need friends.
Pretty much. I'm like, nope, this is what I do, you know. And then I basically was like, look, if you're a ghost, just back down just a notch, please. I'm trying to watch a show. I'm trying to go to bed. I don't want to think about you. Come on.
You're trying to bargain with the ghost. Like, you can chill here. Just be a little quieter.
You know, literally, I was like, look, man, if you're here, that means you're broke too. So, you know, we're all in the same boat, dude. You know,
like, hey, if you need to, just like come watch my show or something. As long as you're gonna be fucking quiet.
You know, make me a sandwich or something. I don't know, clean up a little bit. But I
do my laundry while you're here,
right? But I just go downstairs and I lay there again, and at that point I'm basically just asleep. Yeah. You know, and I used to like periodically wake up in the middle of the night for just random reasons, and so I woke up because I had a fucking piss, and so I go to the bathroom and I can barely hear as it is, obviously, but as the night sleeping, my hearing loses. Not awake yet, so I'm not focused in on anything.
Right.
And so I'm just staring at this shit water because we don't flush. Also, I didn't have working water, so I'm just pissing on shit. Right. And obviously the odor was foul. And then I suddenly remembered, house could be haunted. And then that urge just like kicked in. I'm like, I started panicking. You're
looking around your dark ass bathroom while you're pissed. And you're like, hurry up!
I'm like, hurry up! You know. And so by the window, alright, so where I'm at, the door to enter the bathroom's to the left, and then to the right of where the toilet is the window. Yeah. So there's 3 mirrors in this fucking bathroom. There's the one, like the medicine cabinet, and it's a double mirror, you slide it. And then there's an actual mirror in front of the sink that doesn't work, and that's a big one. And there's the other mirror on the makeup table, and that's like behind it by the shower. So, I basically, for some fucking reason, I'm just sitting there, I'm like, okay, oh, this creepy dude, you know, like, it's cold, I'm fucking pissing, my dick's soft, I can't fucking feel anything, you know, it's gone, my nuts are inside of me, and I just, like, for some reason, I'm like, there's something behind the corner over there. So I just, like, look over in the mirror, and I swear, I just seen, like, it's like a shape of something, it's just like, you know, I'm like, just like that. I'm like,
because you're pissing, you don't want to like run away.
Yeah, I'm like, you know, I'm like, and then I just like realized,
you were looking.
You know, if I made that noise, it was already gonna attack me, but nothing happened. I'm like, nah. You know,
you're testing the ghost.
Like I lean over to the mirror to look closer, and it was just some vines because there's like this fake plant my mom had, and it was just the vines on it. I was like, God damn it, you know. And then I realized I was also pissing a little bit on the floor. I'm like, oh shit, you know. So I moved back, and so I shake it like men do.
Yep.
And so
do a little jiggy.
Yeah, I walk outside to the window, you know, just to look out there, and make sure no ghost right there. And I'm looking. Right, and I'm just like looking back and forth through the field, and then you had this happen to you. So I have cows.
Oh yeah, that was fucking terrifying.
And one of the cows out of nowhere just went.
The fucking cows at your place were I had cows growing up. I've never heard a cow make the fucking creepy ass noises that your fucking cows made.
And I was looking right outside, and it's obviously dark, so I couldn't see them. But all I heard was like, and I'm like, so I fall back, hit my head on the fucking wall behind me, and like I look over in the mirror, and I scared myself because I looked over and all I see was just like deformed face, and it was just me. And I'm like, oh, and it was like, you know, I was like, oh yeah. And,
boo, scared yourself.
You know, but I go back to the couch, and the moment I lay down, because again it's fucking freezing in this house, so I cover myself up, and I'm laying there just staring at the ceiling, trying to get back to sleep. Then I just start hearing a.
That was scratches for those who probably can't hear that.
Ow! Basically in the attic. You know, I'm like.
This is
okay.
part 2 of the ghost adventure.
You know, I'm like, well, I'm fairly certain that could just be a mouse clawing at something, but I mean, who knows for sure, right?
I mean, you did have a lot of mice.
Yeah, dude, a fucking lot. And so, I basically, I get the fucking Bowie knife out, and I basically walked back upstairs all quiet, like, and I just, like, peek my head, like, over the floor, because, like, I'm still lower because of stairs, so I'm just, like, looking level on the, like, floor. So if there was a ghost, all they would have seen was just, like, my eyes, just, like...
They saw your eyes and your
you know,
buzz cut head.
and I'm just, like... you know, and so I shine a light, and I'm like, what'd we talk about, huh? you know, and nothing, obviously. So,
You hear a really faint reply. I was being quieter.
I tried, man. Sorry. But, no, so anyway,
No food for a week.
Obviously, the scratching stopped, right? And so I go up the stairs and I, look in the attic because I didn't fix the door because,
right?
Why would I? So I shine the light in there. Obviously, there's nothing. So I like turn it off, start walking back downstairs. And all I heard was just a loud thud in the attic. And I fucking flashed my light and I was like, the fuck? And I look back in there and I'm not seeing anything other than a fucking little gray tote that was perfectly fine and then it was tilted over. And I'm like, I'm not gonna do this shit. So I go back downstairs and I just basically I just put the curtains up because I don't have doors in the house. Right. I just put curtains over there and I'm like, this will stop them.
This and is ghost efficient rags.
Yeah. They soak up any paranormal stuff. And so basically after that I just went to sleep and that was pretty much that for that story at least. I mean I got plenty more, but
I actually did have quite a few creepy things happen to my house. The main one that I usually tell is the one about my cousin.
Yeah.
So I was real young whenever it happened, and one of my oldest cousins was living with us at the time. Bunch of bullshit family shit going on. She lived with my older sister, who was in the very back part of the house.
Right.
That room was originally the wood room, where our furnace was, where we put all the wood and shit like that. And then we got, basically, we had central heating.
Yeah. Like a thermostat or furnace.
Yeah.
Or something.
So we got rid of the wood furnace and made that her room. It was honestly way easier and way cheaper on us to do it that way.
Wood or
the thermostat? Because the entire time I lived in that house, never was changed once. The thermostat never moved. I wanted to play with it one time, and I got the shit beat out of me because I reached up for it, and out of nowhere, here comes a belt just slapping me in the fucking face. There was no adult in the house at that time, and then boom, spawned.
Somebody dropped the egg. Literally, dude, you don't mess with the thermostat. You always know.
But anyway, so that was in the very back part of the house, farthest away from every other room. And my room was originally a hallway, so I don't have doors to my room. It's just one doorway at the one end and another doorway at another end, but it's like a Z, kind of. And then my little sister's room was straight across one of my bedroom doors, quote unquote. And the other entrance was the back hallway that had the back bathroom attached to it, the kitchen hallway attached to it, and also the hallway going to my older sister's room. Me and my little sister, we were up late watching TV, watching stupid fucking cartoons, obviously. And this was maybe a month after my older cousin started living with us. And all I see is we're facing the TV, which is the complete opposite direction of the kitchen.
Yeah.
we're not like on the couch or anything. We're literally right on the ground, right next to the TV, because we have to have it quiet. Otherwise, the adults will hear. And my little sister and I are watching, and then at the same time, we get like goosebumps all over our arms. And we turn around to face toward the kitchen, and it's my older cousin, but completely white, like completely pale, almost see through, just standing there in the doorway to the kitchen, because there was no actual door or walls. It was basically just a like bar entrance type deal, and she just was standing there staring at us, just staring at us, not watching the TV, not talking, literally just staring at me, like my little sister and I. And we're scared, obviously. This is like literally a ghost representation of our oldest cousin. And my cousin just starts backing up slowly and walking backwards through the kitchen, which is attached to the back hallway, which is attached to, her room. But there's nothing separating the back hallway where the kitchen attaches to my room. It is a straight run from that room, like that hallway, to my room. And obviously my little sister was scared. She was like, "Oh, I don't know what that was, but if that was her, she's gonna tell us." Obviously, we turn the TV off, toss the remote on the couch, and like run to our rooms. I go the one route, not the kitchen route, because that's the way the thing just went. Go the other way, wrap around, and I am hiding in my room, and I just feel like I'm being fucking like stared at all night long, which it was for my later on story, which was very common for me to not be able to sleep. That's honestly why I have insomnia, because of what I had to deal with growing up. But all night I could not sleep, and then the next day I asked her, I was like, "Hey, did you get up last night at all?" She's like, "No." Why? You didn't like come into the kitchen and do like stare at us? And she's like, "What? No. Why were you up? Like, you're supposed to be in bed." And I was like, "I was just getting a drink." Yeah. She's like, what the fuck is all this about? I was like, "No, nothing." And like that was.
See, I mean, it's possible she could have been sleepwalking as well. But
yeah,
like,
but
the
she
thing
was
about her being completely pale, that like that's fucking weird.
Yeah, she was completely pale, and like white, not just
white power.
Yeah,
white?
not that type of white.
Aw, no.
She was almost see-through kind of white.
Right. Fucking crazy.
And so like this other creepy stuff.
Wasn't there one that your mom like actually seen but like never told you guys about it?
There was times where her and my father were up late watching movies, whatever, TV shows. Again, I'm in my room, like, quote unquote sleeping. I very rarely slept. And my mom happened to look in the kitchen because on the couch watching the TV, you could see the kitchen because we rearranged it a shit ton. So at this point in time, you could see the kitchen. Whenever I was watching TV, the kitchen was behind you. So she kind of like looked over at the kitchen and saw this black, like floating orb go to the back hallway and kind of like go towards my room. But she can't really see the direct path to my room. All she can see is it go towards my room, but there's still options to go right.
Right.
And she literally never told me about it. She didn't go check up on me, nothing. She immediately went to bed.
Like, oh.
There was times where she was watching TV and she would see a gray orb leave her bedroom and float toward my room, which was on the opposite side of the house, the other hallway attaching to my room. There was a black orb going the back way, and there was a gray orb going the front way, on two completely different parts of my room. And she never fucking came and checked on me. She ignored it, pretended it didn't happen, and slept. She fucking went to bed.
Gosh.
And growing up, I either didn't dream or I had horrible nightmares. There was nothing in between. Right. Never had good dreams, never had weird dreams, never had okay dreams. It was either nothing or nightmares.
Right.
So, another thing about my room was the only person that ever slept in my room, like, peacefully was my father, because he could fall asleep anywhere, anytime.
Right.
And my Uncle Robbie, who was the exact same thing. Like, he fall asleep anywhere, anytime, anything. He could literally be outside in the rain in -5 degrees, and if you gave him one tiny piece of blanket, he could pass out. Both of them. Just give him a chair and he'll sleep.
Yeah.
So they slept fine whenever, because there were times where I'd be at a friend's house and they slept there. Their mom, sleep on the couch, quote unquote, because you're in the doghouse and here. Or there was just times where I wasn't home or I was home and Uncle Robbie stayed the night and I had to sleep on the couch. When I slept on the couch in the living room, I slept just fine. Didn't have any problems. Ever. I would sleep on the couch, or I'd even go into the living room and sleep on the floor. And I would sleep way better than in my room.
No, me growing up personally, I never had a bed. When I was 8, I had a bed. Technically, it wasn't a bed. It was 2 couch cushions pushed together. And keep in mind, they're all ripped up, so the floor was the better option. And then when I was like about 11 to 12, my brothers got a bed, and then we all shared it. And keep in mind, it was only like a twin, like one of the small beds, so it was like a twin or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
It was smaller than that. Well, actually,
this is a twin.
Yeah, it was actually I was about to say. Never mind. Anyway, so yeah, we all, 3 of us, basically shared that bed. I always got pushed off, so I'd still be on the floor.
I mean, your second oldest brother was fucking huge, so him just like moving one arm is like pushing you off the couch.
At the time, though, he wasn't. I mean, they called him Tiny Tim.
Oh, did they?
No, he didn't get big up until like his junior year, and that's because he put in the work. Because I can get that, so any of us can. It's in the blood, dude. He's the only one who actually wanted to, But yeah, no, he used to be called Tiny Tim because he was smaller than me.
Damn.
But then he started putting in the work for it. Got fucking like a tank, dude.
Yeah, he is.
Everybody's like, you use steroids because he got that way in like less than a year, which is pretty fucking impressive. And then he's just like, no, I don't. Stop being fucking. But that's just his anger. He's got that mad.
See, he's mad all the time. He has roid rage.
Oh, it's just my dad.
Yeah, just your dad being a bitch.
Yeah.
But
anyway, yeah. So go ahead.
So in my room, where my hand-me-down beds were at, where my head was, right above me was this square wooden piece that you could push up, and that's where the attic was. Like, there was nothing that attached it. It was literally just a piece of wood that got pulled over, and that was the door, quote unquote.
That's weird, man.
So there were times where I would lay in bed and then I would feel like something is like staring at me from that little hatch. And then there were also times, most of the time it was this one, where the end of my bed was also where my hanger, quote unquote, began. And that's where I'd hang all my shirts and shit. But that blocked my vision from the door. Like the doorway. So I'd always feel like something was staring at me behind the hanging clothes, just kind of like using one of them hide behind. And I could never sleep unless I had completely cocooned myself and covered my face.
Right.
And even then, I would mostly just lay in bed all night long and then go days without sleep and then pass out on one of the days.
It's fucking crazy, dude.
And there was always the feeling that I was being watched.
Yeah.
Whenever I got older, I was like maybe 13. No, I think I was actually 14. Me and my older sister switched rooms. I don't know why. Oh yeah, there was a snake that got into her room, and she was terrified of it. So she's like, "I'm never gonna sleep back there again." And I was like, "I'll take it."
Right, like please get me out of here.
And we switched. We got all the shit moved around, and she literally would never sleep in there. Every single day, I'd get up and she'd be sleeping on the couch in the living room.
We used to get in trouble for that.
Oh, we got in trouble.
My dad was like, "Well, you have a room, sleep in your room," and I'm like, "But it's hot up there."
We would get in trouble, and then Lily was like, "No, I'm not sleeping in that room. The room is terrible." And the adults just like, "Okay, well, once you get up, go put your fucking blankets and shit in the room." And whenever the very first night I moved, you feel like after 15 years of that PTSD, you feel like you'd think that I need to cocoon myself. I didn't feel the need to cocoon myself at all. I actually slept with the blanket down at my waist. I didn't even, not once did I feel like I needed to cocoon myself in that room. There was one time where I felt like I needed to do that, but that's because I spent the whole day watching horror video games. So I kind of fucked myself over there. But there was this isn't really creepy. This is more like just a quick scare story. You'll remember this. Me, T-Bone, and one of our friends, we were all hanging out at her place, and we decided that we would go for a walk. And it was dark out, and this friend had, what's the big fluffy dog? Like a Great Pyrenees or something like that?
Yeah, Great Pyrenees.
Yeah, has a Great Pyrenees, big white dog.
Now, keep in mind that naturally, I am armed.
We're almost always armed.
So I got my Bowie knife on, and you got your katana.
I had the katana. Yeah. I had the katana. I had a pocket knife, and I also had a dagger. Don't ask why we had so many weapons. We did.
We're men.
Okay.
We're men, and we're in the woods. You always have to have knives on you in the woods.
We started in the woods, and then we got out of the woods, and then we decided to walk across where that power plant was.
I remember this one, yeah.
So the dog decided to run off on its own and do its own little thing while we were in the woods, right? So the three of us are at the power plant side. I had lost my left contact at this point in time, which my left eye is my dominant eye.
Yeah.
For some fucking... I'm right everything except my eye.
I mean, I'm right. Right eye, right hand, right nut.
So, things are a bit blurry for me, right?
Yeah.
This big fucking dog just comes dead sprinting at me out of nowhere. And I don't remember what I didn't have my weapons.
It was a big stick.
I had
because I turn around right as soon as you're basically about to swing on it.
Yeah.
Because I oh shit. I wasn't expecting it either.
Because all I see was this huge fucking white blur running at me, like on all fours.
Could have been Skinwalker.
I have this huge fucking stick. I have it fully drawled up, and I'm about to swing on this bitch. And T-Bone turns around and is like, "What the fuck?" And I'm just like, he finally got into range where my right eye could see what it was. And so I stopped my swing.
Yeah, it was gonna be a powerful fucking swing.
I had it all the way drawled back. Yeah. I was going to obliterate that fucking dog.
Brutal, man.
And then our friend was like, "Oh, what happened? Oh, the doggo. Oh, what happened?" And the owner, I just like, I almost killed your fucking dog.
Literally, and it was justified. They don't fucking spook up on it, man.
Like, out of all the weapons I had on me, the fucking big ass stick was what I was going to use to kill the dog.
Yeah, and plus, so this is one of the stories that you mentioned earlier.
Yep.
About having the same friend at my place.
Oh yeah.
So it was basically me, Dunce, and our other friend. And
we had Chris's sister.
Yes, we had her there. So, excuse me. Basically, we were basically just playing like card games for a while, and then we were basically going to go drop off our other friend, and so basically, Dunce and I were like basically just trying to like we were bored, so we were like,
we were literally trying to 007 that shit.
Yeah, like we were actually doing really good. And so Dunce and I, we go outside, and we had like our other friend distract the other friend because she's easily scarable.
Well,
so
we had Chris distract the two girls.
Chris was there, wasn't it?
Chris was
and
how
AJ,
Hannah
right?
got. No, AJ was not there.
This was a different night, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, we had Chris there, and Chris was who was distracting the girls.
Yeah. So Dunce and I were basically hiding in my little garden thing. There's like basically nothing there.
This was spot one.
Yeah. And they actually got really fucking close up.
And like, again, they're using flashlights.
Yeah. And he's over here. And I'm just like.
It's fucking cold out, bro.
Like, I'm just trying to breathe. It wasn't even cold for me because I was we were running so much. I'm warmed up. I just couldn't breathe. And so apparently, the reason why this is part of the creepy story is apparently because we were all outside except for the two girls.
Yeah.
And they both went like upstairs because they heard walking around upstairs. Like you could hear it, like I did basically.
Actual clear as day human footsteps upstairs.
Yeah, like
to legitimately think that T-Bone and I were upstairs trying to hide.
They literally said it was basically like somebody was shuffling around trying to move stuff or something.
Yeah.
And they both go up there and didn't see us at all.
Right.
Because we weren't up there. We were all outside.
The two girls were the only ones in the house, and they heard legitimate like human shuffling upstairs.
Like they both testified to it. Like, and then I remember whenever you got behind the door and like they closed it and you were just standing there.
The thing is our friend almost hit me with your fucking mason shit.
Yeah. My flail.
Yeah. Almost hit me in the fucking face with it. But it literally, there were several times where I scared the shit out of her. One time, you were in the living room. This is going to fit in just because I scared the shit out of a friend. You were in the living room. She was in the kitchen. But again, there's a rag, like a huge fucking curtain that you have to move. I was laying down in fucking cobwebs because I was that committed to the goddamn bit that I was laying in cobwebs next to the chair that she was going to sit in.
Yeah.
And she sat down and she was talking to you and you weren't looking at me. And then I literally just reached my hand up towards her and she screamed so loud.
Another fucking thing I didn't understand was because I was in there in the living room. We were all in the living room and we're starting to walk out. And so I turned the light off and then I turned it back on. And I guess she thought I was completely somewhere else.
You were literally standing right in fucking front of her.
Yeah, she like said that she saw me move away and like, over here, come over this way, which was not accurate because I was still holding.
You were holding. Yeah, you were standing in the same place.
And then we turn it off, and we both go outside. We're all outside except for her, and she thought we were still in there because she's seen us all still.
Yeah.
She was like she's seen our figures. She's like, and she was just talking to herself. She's like, well, so what am I doing again? Where are we leaving?
So just for context, T-Bone turns the light off, then turned it on, and then turned it back off.
Like 15 minutes previous to what happened just now. So I turned the light because I was messing around because we were scared and shit. And I was like, ooh, look at this. Turn it off. And then she was like, stop, turn it back on. And she was looking this way, like I'm over here.
Oh, yeah, she was looking at your second door. It was the laundry room.
Yeah.
She was looking at the laundry room door.
It was the bathroom.
Was it the bathroom?
Yeah, because we were in the living room.
I thought you were in the kitchen.
Mm-mm.
I thought you guys... Yeah, you guys were in the kitchen. Because I was in the living room.
Maybe.
I was in the living room because I had just scared the shit out of her.
Yeah, I remember now.
And she was facing the laundry room because she thought you walked in the laundry room.
Yeah. Which, that place, I'm pretty sure is some fucking demonic shit in there, too.
The laundry room was really creepy.
Which I got some...
There was... I legitimately... Okay, so this is how weird mine and his body works. When we were in the kitchen at nighttime, my guard immediately was always staring at the fucking the stairs to go up there. I personally didn't hear any creepy shit. It just immediately scared me. Anytime we were in the kitchen, I immediately stared at the stairs. It was always pitch black, couldn't see anything, always ready to stab anything that walked down the stairs.
Right.
His instinct was to always stare at the pitch black laundry room door. Complete opposite sides, but somehow we both were instinctively guarding the two entrances to the room. Yeah. Without even doing it on purpose.
For me personally, I feel like it's because I grew up in the upstairs, so I was used to it. And we were in the laundry room there for a while, and that is the reason why I have one story about that. But that's for another day, probably. But that's why I would be fixated on that side, because we weren't in the laundry room that much as a room. We were always upstairs. But yeah, it was still fucking creepy. But anyway, so basically I turn off the kitchen light to be like, ooh, scary, boo boo, you know. And she basically said that I walked into the laundry room and was like, hey, you know, waving her over, you know, like, hey, I want to show you something, kind of shit. Well, obviously I wasn't talking, but it was like, you know, signaling her over.
Right.
And so all she seen was this like dark shadow, like, you know,
waving her in, and you were literally standing still, holding the light in front of her.
And now, keep in mind, the laundry room door has 2 windows. So, like, you can kind of see some moonlight, which is how I'm assuming she's seen the figure of a shadow-looking thing. You know, but it couldn't make it out, obviously. And so I turned it back on, and she fucking screamed. You heard it. And because she thought I walked over there, you know, which I was like, no, I was standing here the whole fucking time.
And the thing is, is in the kitchen, when someone walks, you hear their footsteps.
Mm-hmm, yeah. And if you don't hear the actual creaking, you just hear them sliding.
Yeah.
You know? So basically, we go into the living room. So I turn off the kitchen light. I go back into the living room. We're all in the living room. And then after a little bit of chatting and stuff, we have everybody go outside, except for Patience, somebody, obviously. And it doesn't really matter, I don't think. Anyway, so Patience was in the living room with me. So I turn off the living room light. And I start walking towards the door. Obviously, because it's my house, I close it, I lock it, etc. Right. So I'm standing there holding the door open, and she's still just sitting there looking around, you know, like, why are we still in here, you know, because she apparently sees everybody else still standing there, you know, and I'm like, Patience, come on. She's like, what the fuck? I was like, what? She's like, you were literally just right over here. I was like, I was, and then I moved over here, and she's like, what the hell? What's going on? You know, and I'm like, you're fucking weird, dude. I don't understand what's going on. So we just all leave, basically. The post light. That flickers.
So on my route to get to his house, from my old house to his old house, there was this one. It was like a lamppost light, and it was completely by itself.
Well, it was right next to the quarry.
Yeah, but it was alone.
It was a singular.
There was no lights other than that one, and there were so many. This was even with patience.
Mm-hmm. I encountered it too when I was driving by myself.
There was one time that I was driving by myself.
I was on a phone call with you. I was on Discord.
There was actually multiple times. I would be driving towards it away from your house, and it would flicker before I even got to it.
Mm-hmm.
There was times where I'd get to it, come to a stop, turn, and it flickered after I turned.
Mm-hmm.
It would never flicker when I was in the light, only before I got to it or after I left the light.
Didn't you say you seen like something like or one time?
One time I came up to it, turned, drove away, and as it flickered, there's something that ran across the road as it flickered.
Weird, dude.
There was one time I was taking patients home.
Mm-hmm.
Again, this is nighttime. And it flickered, but my truck lights flickered when the lamppost flickered. And Patience was in the truck, and we were so fucking scared.
Yeah.
It flickered, my headlights flickered the same time. And I almost just didn't want to drive into the light, but I literally drifted that fucking corner, and it's a fucked corner.
Yeah, it's pretty dangerous because it goes to gravel to blacktop.
Yeah, I drifted that and fucking hit the gas out of there. Yeah. My lights flicker when I have both my 10-inch subs going really, really hard. That's when they'll sometimes flicker. There was no music. No music, nothing. They just flickered with the lamppost.
That's fucking weird, dude.
And like, I hadn't really experienced it a lot whenever. Well, I didn't really have to experience it a lot because I didn't really drive to your house as often after certain events happened. Yeah. But it only really happened closer to the beginning of the time I started driving over there a lot.
And see, like I said, whenever I encountered it one time, I was literally on the Discord call with you guys. Like as I was driving past it, because I dropped off I think it was Sonic, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I dropped off Sonic at your place, and then I was heading back home, and I passed it, and like it was flickering and shit, and I was on Discord call with you guys. I was like,
well, the thing is that road that light is on, you lost service. You always lose service on that road. So we didn't even hear you freaking out. You literally you were like, guys, dead. You were gone.
That's fucking even creepier, dude. But yeah, that's I think I might have to do it for this episode.
Yeah. Creepy events.
For the most part. Probably not creepy to you guys, but it was in the moment it was fucking creepy to us, man.
There's definitely some other creepy moments that we'll have to think about, so look forward to a part 2 of this.
Not like right away.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you guys for listening. Hopefully you're actually enjoying this shit. If not, then fuck you listening.
I mean, fuck. Even if it's a background noise while you're having sex, driving, whatever the fuck you're doing.
We're honored for that.
Thanks for listening, regardless.
Yeah, and thanks for all the views, I guess. I mean, there's still not a bunch, but still thanks, I mean, that means you guys what? But yeah, basically just have a good night, day, wherever the fuck you are. Yeah, see you guys.
See you in the next one. Bye-bye.